Hey everyone, Kevin Rose here from Team Moonbirds. Today, we are excited to announce that Moonbirds is one of just a small number of PFP projects going fully on-chain, meaning the artwork will forever be stored and rendered directly from the blockchain. However, we didn't stop there. We're excited to announce several innovations and industry firsts that we're open sourcing.
Hey, I'm Harry, and I'm Director of Product at Bruce.
Yeah, hi, I'm Dave. I'm also known as CX Coder on Twitter and everywhere on Web3.
Hey, my name's Arran. I'm the Vice President of Engineering at Bruce.
On-chain is a loaded term because it means a lot of things to a lot of different people. In essence, it means that the building blocks to put whatever it is together, normally a piece of art, can all be found on the blockchain.
My first project that I ever released as an NFT could be reproduced from elements that are stored on the blockchain, but that's not really within the, let's say, the spirit of what we're trying to do here. We are saying that it needs to be something that a smart contract produces.
We are going one step further. So what we refer to as being in-chain, we assemble the layers directly in a smart contract and return the full image.
So when OpenSea or other marketplaces call our images to look them up, rather than reference some third-party image somewhere else, ours is actually being pulled directly and composed via smart contracts and then rendered out to that third-party marketplace.
Moonbirds isn't entirely generative. It's built up from different layers. So we minimize the amount of storage and wasteful storage that we use and still just build everything through logical piecing together of each element.
It's also easier for other people to build on top of that. So we are providing other artists to remix that in smart contracts to build on top of that in like the CC0 sense.
Dave's really good and really efficient.
Dave definitely doesn't get enough credit for the quality of the work that he produces, not just at Proof, but beforehand. He's a phenomenal engineer. He writes code that is very, very well thought out.
And there was a lot of optimization going into that process and a lot of really intense work to make it as efficient as possible for it to still be executable, for example, in Etherscan, but still look pretty on OpenSea or Twitter Blue, where users or holders would like to use their Moonbird as profile picture.
When we first started chatting about putting this completely on-chain and in-chain rendering, I was getting cost estimates back from the team of right around 80, 85 ETH.
So when Justin created the Moonbirds, he didn't sit down and create 10,000 different pieces of art. He created a library of backgrounds, of bodies, of different colors, of eyes, of beaks, of headwear, eyewear, outerwear.
All the logic that went into building the collection in the first place has then been mirrored from Justin's head into the smart contract.
So if we only store the layers, it's about 0.3 ETH at 10 weight, and another 0.3, 0.4 if we would like to store all the features.
So it went from 85 ETH down to less than 1 ETH, which is just simply amazing. So the easiest thing to do when you're putting something on chain, when you're talking about the actual export that comes out of the on-chain data, is to make it SVG. It's math out, it's a lot easier, it's a small file size, but it is a pretty modern format, and not all platforms support SVGs.
Since Moonbirds is a pixel-based art collection, basically, having a rasterized format is way more natural. So having a bitmap is way more natural than having a vector graphics, just from a pure technical perspective.
Bitmaps are just the most simple, raw definition of what an image should look like. This is the pixel, this is the color, that's it. Put it at this place on the screen. SVGs require, although simple externalities to render them, there's still something else that has to go into this. So it's about keeping things as just true and bare bones as possible.
So the other thing that this is going to enable us to do is we can allow a different background to be layered in for Proof Collective members. And because we put that in the contract, it means that we can do things like tie it to nesting.
When we build something and we think it's a new and exciting innovation, however big or small, we always want to make sure to help leverage and lift up the industry and let others use that technology.
We're going to open source all of the pipeline which takes the image files and outputs contracts to then be stored on the Ethereum blockchain.
People have known for quite a while how to efficiently store data to make it available to contracts, but doing that has always been quite difficult. You have to manually create every contract to store your data.
So we have this pipeline or this library that helps us in reducing the data and getting a set of smart contracts out of it. And this is like a very general scheme that can be used for anything. So we are using it for storing the layer data, but it can be used for anything else, basically.
With a tool like this, it becomes quite easy for anyone to produce contracts that have arbitrary, complex data stored inside them.
You can use it to store text, you can use it to store videos or sounds or whatever. It's really generic. This is something that was really heavy for us in putting Moonbirds on chain, and it's canonical for us to give that back to the community, to play around, to do anything they like with it.
We are not each working in a vacuum. We are not competing with each other. And WAGMI is a bit of a cliche, but it's there for a reason, which is it's a hugely collaborative space.
We have everything on chain in a manner where other people can build on top of it. So it's easier for other people to build derivative projects on top of it, which will strengthen the entire Moonbird brand.
So let's actually talk about putting these things actually on chain. So there's one really easy way that we could have done, which is just to put them all on chain all at the same time. But then we also thought it's kind of fun when we have some user participation as well.
Yeah, I mean, sure, we could have done it for everyone, but where's the fun in that? We wanted everyone to feel a piece of ownership. And when you put your bird on chain, your address will be stored forevermore as the wallet which put that bird on chain. What we don't want to do, however, is have eternally a collection of which half of them are on chain and half of them aren't because the owner just never got around to it or didn't feel like it, or maybe put this in a wallet that they've forgotten about. So what we're going to do after 6 months, we're going to come in and anything which hasn't been committed by the owners, we'll commit on their behalf.
If you choose not to, it's up to you. We can still, what we'll do afterwards is just do a global upload.
I think this is an experience that we want every owner to be part of. We want you to play a role in that. We want the blockchain and the record to show that you play a role in that.
I have a lot of ex-colleagues who look at me like, dude, why are you doing this? Please explain. While this gives something to the community, it's also a way for us to explore possibilities and use it as a playground for testing engineering, smart contract engineering. Is it possible in this heavily pared down environment to pull off much, much more efficient levels of computing that we would actually otherwise have to do? And that's how we approach this from an engineering perspective. The end goal may not ring true with everyone, but it does at least provide a place to do some additional research and exploration as to what is possible.